And welcome back to my channel, Rose Red Diamonds and Crafts. This is my May monthly update where I like to go over everything I got done the previous month and my goals for the current month. So diamond painting. This month I did 2 diamond paintings and I have them with me right now. I started with Wonderland by Mandy Manzano. And I did Pink Mermaid by Chibimika Art. About this painting, when I see this one, I think of Cotton Candy Mermaid. That's just the way I associate this. This is my Cotton Candy Mermaid. Probably because all the pink and blue in the sky. It just reminds me of cotton candy, and especially with her licking her lip, it's kind, to me it's like she's eating cotton candy. Also, I was surprised at how much green was actually in her hair. When I seen the image in the small picture or in the actual artwork, I thought it would be more blue, but they went with heavy on the green, which is fine. It looks, I really like it. And for some reason, every time I was working on this section right here, I had a really hard time focusing on the fact that this blue area is actually her tail and the purple area is water. I was always getting that flip-flopped. For some reason, I kept thinking the purple was her tail and the blue was the water, because probably obvious reasons, but of course, if you notice the other side, the purple's obviously water. But just some little things I noticed while I was working on it. So in April, let me roll these back up. In April, there are no events going on that I have anything to, how do I word this? The events that are going on this month are not anything I'm planning on participating in. I would be interested in the Star Wars one that Emeralds and Fairy Lights is doing, but I don't have any Star Wars canvases. And I'm drawing a blank on any other events that's going on this month, but nothing that really speaks to me. So I really wanted to go with choosing a kit per my mood, such as like Katie from Diamonds and Washi has been talking about lately. Mood. What is speaking to me this month? If I scrolling through my gems flow, I was trying to pick an image that really spoke to me for May, for spring, for Mother's Day, what was speaking to me. And originally the first thing that spoke to me was Hydrangea Garden Birds from DAC, which just released for their Diamond Art Club's 4th anniversary. So that's still in that hasn't even been shipped yet. Today's May 2nd. It hasn't even been shipped yet. So that's out of the question. I want something that I could kit up now. I'll have to work on that at a later date. No big deal. So I was having trouble trying to decide of everything that I have, what was speaking to me, until I realized what was really speaking to me that I really want to work on isn't a Diamond Art Club. It's actually a China kit that I've had for quite a long time. So this month I will be working on a China kit. So it's going to be what I refer to as my Zen Cabin. You may have seen it before. Okay, can you see that image? this image has been around for a while. So it's a very big, I wasn't going to pull the whole thing out, but it's a very big painting. Goes on for days. Yeah, but this is the one that's actually that I really want to work on. And it's pretty beat up. When it arrived, it was wrapped nice and tightly, but it was also bent in half. They literally just snapped it in half, and that's how it came to me. So that was really disappointing. It's one of the reasons why. So it's very wrinkly right along the center. But I'm going to tough it out anyways, because this is the image that's calling to me this month. I also wanted to point out that, obviously, I've already kitted it up, okay? I haven't used my Harbor Freights since Jingle Drills. I've only been using my Elizabeth Ward, so I wanted to go ahead and use my Harbor Freight, especially if this kit was going to give me troubles because of it being a China kit, because it's all wrinkly. If there's any issues, I didn't want it taking up space in my Elizabeth Wards, so I could, if I have to, I could work on something else. But I also wanted to show how I have this kitted up. I have a tiny tray. This is actually the bottom half to my TARDIS tray. I got my DAC cover minder and tweezers. The washi I'll be using. This is how I keep my wax. I just got a single stick of pink wax, because all I do is I take my thing and I pinch off on the, I don't know if you could see me. I go to the very end and I just scoop off just the tip, like cutting butter. Just, that's all I do. And I know a lot of people frown on the light pink, but that's my go-to wax. I do have wax and putty from Etsy, but I am drawn to the pink wax. It's just quicker. I feel like I fiddle with the other waxes more often, that they stop working for me quicker than they should. I'm probably doing something wrong, but it's just easier for me to use the pink until it stops working. And it usually will last maybe 2 hours before I have to switch it out. So I don't like having to stop constantly to fiddle with the wax. So that's my goal for May, is to preferably I'd like to have that kit finished, but we'll see. I'm not going to put any pressure on myself, especially since there could be issues with it. So yeah, let's talk cross stitch. Alright, so stitchy update stuff. Last month, I recorded my monthly check-in a week into the month. And so at that time, I said that I was planning on bobbinating all of my floss, my giant bag of floss. I wanted to bobbinate everything. And at the time, I had done one bag. At the time, I had completed one bag, and I still had 2 bags left to do. Well, I never got around to those 2 bags. They're still here. So I will be hopefully getting these taken care of this month. Goal. Finish bobbinating those. Because I do have some kit things. I have 2 kits that I would like to have kit up before the month is over. More on that in a minute. So I also have been, um, I've been wanting to make, okay, I bought all of what I thought was all of the supplies I needed to make my own progress bags. Why is that sounding weird to me? Um, project bag, not progress, project bag. I bought all the supplies I needed to make my own project bag. And then for fabric, I was just going to work out a stash. And then when I went to go do that, when I got the urge to start making my own progress, the day I decided to work on my make my own project bag, um, I realized that the fabrics that I have don't really mesh together. So I decided that I really wanted to use this piece of fabric right here. Thought it would be nice, fun, summery, warm weather. So I cut out this 50, it was a fat quarter, and then I cut it down to 15 by 15, thinking, I would lose an inch or two when I go to sew it up. And then I took some, but I didn't have anything to match this. I don't have any solid colors. Everything I have is printed, and I just didn't feel like anything I have would go together. But I decided that this right here, that these scraps, that I would just sew them up together. I have them on I sewed them onto this, what's it called? Bonding? No, I can't think of the word right now. But I sewed, I put them, I stitched it all together. But then I realized how I got discouraged. I got discouraged when I seen this, because that means that this is going to be significant. The project bag would end up being significantly smaller than I was hoping. So I got discouraged and I completely stopped working on this. I'm the type of person that I need to have a pattern to start with, and then after I make that basic pattern, then I could make adjustments to it for whatever I want to do or for my needs. And I was having trouble finding, it seemed all the project bags seemed to have, they weren't speaking to me. I couldn't find any patterns for a project bag that was speaking to me. So I thought, okay, I'll just wing it. And I went to wing it, and I spent a lot of time. I wasted the whole day investigating, and then just going for it and cutting up, because these are scrap pieces. So it took a while to get them kind of similar sized. And it was too much of a headache. It stressed me out, and yeah, I never finished making a project bag. So hopefully I will get re-motivated to do that at some point, because I have zippers and I have the vinyl, so we'll see. But that's not going to be a goal. I'm not setting that as a goal this month, because there's some other things that I really need to do. And I wouldn't be against purchasing a project bag just to tide me over until I could decide on a pattern that really works for me. So I didn't finish the bobbinating, and I failed at my project bag. So, oh, and then of course, if you were here for the previous, you would know that I was working on my Pokemon, but I had some issues with that last month, and I completely stopped working on it. And I did not investigate any. I said I needed to go in and go through all the colors and do some investigation and reconfiguring some colors, and I haven't touched it yet. So I have not touched Pokemon this month. But in the urge to want to stitch, April had in April, I think it was around the 20th, 21st, was the 24 hours of cross stitch. And I was in Jessie with Miss Lay Page's Twitch stream, and I figured, you know what, I want to put in a few oh, you know what, actually I think I started in I had actually started it. No, it was Jessie. Jessie's I was in her stream, and so I pulled out my Dimensions kit, Aurora Cabin. I pulled it out and then realized that the floss, the way that they had it kitted up was a little, it wasn't to my liking. So let me show you. All right, so they come like this. If you're not familiar with kits, it comes on a strip of cardboard, and this is fine, especially since I wasn't starting with these colors. So I just rolled this up and put it aside, because it's not a lot of floss in the grand scheme of things. But the few colors that they use a lot of, because in this pattern, especially with the color that I started with, which I started in this dark blue area. Actually, I never actually showed you my kit. This is what I got done. So I got all that. I did all that in this month, which is this top section right here. But this blue, which is actually this blue right here. See how much floss that is? See how long these are? Well, the way that they have it set up, or the way they had these flosses, look how long these flosses are. They actually had them, this is folded in half, right? This floss is folded in half. I put it on these tags that I made myself. This is folded in half. They had it all the way opened, and then just clipped with each color was clipped with a zip tie. They're all zip tied together individually, and they were super long. So I threw them on these tags real quick, and that's how I've been working. And this color, this dark blue that I'm working on, it calls for 6 strands, tent stitch, and that is her. See, I'm rubbing my finger. That is actually pretty. It bothers my thumb after a while, because it's so much thread that you're having to force through. So it is taking me a while to make progress on this. I'm moving a lot slower than I could have, but I also have only spent a couple of days working on this past month anyways. So I worked on it like 2 days during the 24 hours of cross stitch weekend, and then I worked on it a couple days ago. So I didn't spend a lot of time on cross stitch, but that's what I wanted to do for actually putting floss on fabric. To put in my X's, that's what I decided on. So the last thing I wanted to talk about happened yesterday. So like I said, today's May 2nd, and yesterday was May 1st. And the Witchy Stitcher, if you didn't know, the Witchy Stitcher, let me pull this out. The Witchy Stitcher did this Cryptids Stitch Along last year. It started in late summer, early fall, and then it didn't finish. They released the final image at the end of January. And I did finish this around that time. I can't remember the exact date, but it would have been in a previous video. But anyways, there was an announcement yesterday morning that they were releasing some news at in a few hours. So I set an alarm and I was like, okay, what's the news? They are doing a sister stitch along to Cryptids, so it'll have the same aesthetic with the border and the individual images, but instead of Cryptids, it'll be supernatural. And that's not Supernatural, the TV show, but like supernatural creatures. So I went ahead and pre-ordered that pattern. When I was working on, I bought this fabric on Amazon, and seeing everybody's images, I was feeling a little sad that I wasn't happy with my fabric. But with there being a supernatural, or having a sister project, then putting out a sister project and having the same likeness, whatever fabric I use, I'm gonna want it to be similar to this. Maybe not this dark, or maybe I'll want it have it modeled, right? Am I using that term right? I'm gonna have to dye my own fabric. I purchased the pattern, pre-ordered the pattern, however you want to refer to it, but I'm going to be using, I had some issues working on this with certain colors being not regular floss, but pearl floss, and it was just too thick. And so I'm going to work out a stash for the Supernatural Sow. I'm working on a stash, and I only have white and black Aida. So I can't use black Aida because they are heavy on the 310. So and I don't have any other colors in a large enough quantity to try to use a different color. So I'm going to take my white Aida and I'm going to dye it, probably coffee dye it, and hope to get something similar to this color, but not exactly this color. So we'll see. I have been putting off dyeing fabric. I said that in a few videos ago, a few months ago, that I wanted to dye my own fabric, and I went and got a selection of RIT dyes. But then I realized that I don't have any containers to do the dyeing in, because you don't want to use things that you will be putting food in. They need their own containers, Tupperware, whatever you want to use. So I need to purchase some items to use the RIT dye. But if I'm doing a coffee dye, I could just use a pot or whatever. However I decide to do it. It's coffees. You drink coffee, so you could use whatever you want. So I will probably be doing a coffee dye for coffees, or tea dye, or whatever I need to do to get something similar to this, but not enough for it to look good together, but not doesn't have to be exactly the same. And I definitely want to make sure that I don't go darker than this color, because any darker than this I wouldn't be happy with. So, and I'm glad I never FFO'd this because now there'll be 2 of them. So I want to make sure that I could display them both similarly. So I think that's everything. Thank you for sticking around, and I will see you guys next month. Bye.